Hey guys. So, in an effort to help you understand the whole home buying process here, I put together a little interview, a series of some questions. I've got a special guest with me tonight who I don't think needs any kind of introduction, but he's going to introduce himself anyways.
Hi guys, I'm Benjamin Poley-Baier, aka Mr. Poley's husband, and I am here to help you guys learn a little bit more about buying a house.
First question tonight. What was the first step you took in your quest to become a home buyer slash home owner?
First step. So before we even got into actually looking at houses, I think the first thing that we really did was made sure that we had open communication with each other about our intention to buy a house, and talking about our credit worthiness, preparing our credit to make sure that when the time came, we actually had an established good credit score for both of us individually. That way, when we did start looking at houses, we could kind of accelerate the process and get things going, because building up your credit is a thing that takes a long period of time, to have strong credit enough to be worthy to buy a house. So once we kind of established that communication that we actually wanted to buy a house, and we both knew that we were in good standing with our credit, we both researched different websites and apps like Zillow that allow that allow you to look at houses locally or wherever you want, really. You can use tons of filters to look at different kinds of houses, to look at houses with a certain number of bedrooms or square footage, whatever it might be. So yeah, once we had established that we knew we wanted to get a house and that we had good credit, we started just looking online and seeing what caught our eye. And then once we liked something, we started scheduling tours.
Alrighty, question number two. So after we figured out that we were credit worthy and looked at what we already had saved up to that point, after the wedding and everything, how did we figure out what we could afford from there?
So over the course of a couple of months, we both tracked our expenses, and we compared them to both of our incomes from our jobs, and yeah, just saw what we could live with comfortably, compared to our expenses. Like, really, really just that. Just look to see what our where our money was going over the long term.
And from there, what strategies did we use then to further our savings over the next couple of months?
So once we came up with a goal in mind, we came up with a plan for what we could both comfortably take out of each of our paychecks to get to that goal.
And how'd that turn out?
Turned out pretty well, because we're closing on a house in 2 days.
There we go.
Woo!
Next question relates to the pre-approval process. Can you describe our pre-approval process?
So the pre-approval process is a very necessary step. So we asked around about different lenders to see where we would potentially be getting a loan from. We looked online. We talked to our agent that we were working with, to see who she recommended. And once we had a couple of lenders in mind, we filled out applications for those lenders. The applications included information about both of our incomes, our job experience, our assets, so what we both have saved in our bank accounts, that kind of thing. And the pre-approval process, and just the act of getting pre-approved, is really important, because it shows the lenders that you might be working with, just how trustworthy you are, that you're actually going to be able to pay back the loan and be trusted in the long run working with them.
So with that, when you say how trustworthy you are, how do they really figure out how trustworthy you are? Or how trustworthy we are?
Well, they look at our credit history. They look and see to make sure that you pay everything on time, because in the future, if they're going to give you a loan,
A mortgage.
a mortgage loan, yeah, they have to know that you're going to be able to make your payments on time. They have to know that you're good for it.
So with each lender that we tried to get pre-approved with, did anything happen to your credit report, or did you
Yes.
notice anything on there?
So when you, with every lender that you put a application in with, it does count as a hard inquiry on your credit score, because they're looking into your credit history. It's a major inquiry on your credit score. But don't worry, it falls off. It's temporary.
And I think there was something that if you apply within a certain amount of time with different lenders, it doesn't affect you as much.
Correct. Yes.
So that's why we tried to
You want
do
to
ours
do it
and
in a short amount of time so that you can get only one credit inquiry.
see the different rates and
Right.
what they have to offer.
Yep.